Welcome, Kommon Cents, make it make sense. I want to say, big up to myself, no man. Me want to now big up on myself and touch the subscription bell. Go ahead and leave a like. And as we go along, don't be afraid to use the comment section. Like we your opinion, man. Don't be afraid, man. All right. So it's all about the current affairs. So many things have been happening, so we have to forward and give some discussion on some of these topics. What do you have to deal with? Jackson, Q, I look.
White rice and fish.
I fry rice and fish. What are them? Jackson, what are you going with?
I'm a vegetarian, man.
I said they are easy, Jackson. You are vegetarian. Good vibes. No, first, as we started like that, we have to talk about the Titchfield High School, who is now the 2025 champion. Also, country school now roll. I want to them, they know them school.
Yeah, man.
School challenge quiz is back and alive. The energy. You know what I mean? What you have to say about that, Jackson? The youths and the energy.
Well, I just a big up the country school, you know, because I'm a countryman, you see me? So, more be a side, you know? The east. Or the west. No, the west.
I don't know. This right.
No, but always. But yeah, we have to big him up still, because, like, all fun and joke aside, you know, he's a very intellectual and very intelligent young man, you know? Mm-hmm. So we have to give him kudos and make him know, say, yeah. And also the Ray argument and the Ray song them, we are running on them thing there. Oh, Portland didn't come from. Okay, sorry about that. Big up yourself.
Yeah, about Alex, right? Alex. I think it goes by the name Alex. Alex have the personality, man. Cool.
We have to highlight them young people because guess what? Sometimes some people say some foolishness and we run it down and we support it and we load it up. And them are people we need to load up.
Yeah, man, the youths are the future. And from the youths, them have character towards learning that makes learning fun. And I mean, bring back the energy. And I tell you, so that's what Alex, the captain, has. Q, what are your take on it?
Fry rice and fish. Alex Anderson, big up yourself wherever you did. You deserve it. Round of applause. Round of applause to big man.
Big up Titchfield. You know what I mean? Got everybody talking and looking on that school trying squids again, you know what I mean? Because I tell you, I was out of it for a while, and with this personality and, you know, popping out, it's definitely something amazing. And to see that someone that is so book studied, but still managed to have their opinion fun and take learning, because learning should be fun. That's the approach that we want. A lot of times people think learning is, you know, it's boring and it's all book and pencil, but learning should be fun. And as someone that believes in the educational system, we believe that it's how you approach learning that makes the student love it. That you up on the screen, I'm a virgin man. Yeah, man. That type of vibes. Big up Titchfield.
Yeah.
Right? The next thing that we did talk about, that we the elephant in the room. Well, it's not an elephant, it's a cartel. It's Vybz Kartel on the big show in New York. Whoa. Huh? Just whoa. It's like they're saying that Kartel went to jail to free dancehall. What do you guys think about that? Q.
Well, put all joke and fun aside right now. Any doubt them did have about Vybz Kartel in just cement him name as one of the champion them were carried away. There are a lot of stories that dancehall lose its weight from mid-2000, from early 80s, from Shabba Ranks. We have to mention Yellowman and Patra and them people, but Shabba Ranks, which was like the founding father of dancehall music, come down to Shaggy, Beanie Man and Bounty, right? Then you have Sean Paul. Then you have the likes of Elephant Man. But along the line, you have to put Kartel up there. Now, the only two people you can say Mike can do more than what Vybz Kartel do, at this point in time. One thing him now is a Grammy. Is Shaggy and Sean Paul. And the founding father, you have to put Buju up there because he was the founding father on a global scale. But the man put in the work. When they talk about solding out the Barclays Center, not once, not twice, Chum sick make him never go. You know what I mean?
I wasn't listening for that.
But listen, him could have gone on and on. That's what I'm saying. He could have gone on and on, but you have to give it to him. Because when you check out Bruno Boy and Burna Boy, and Davido. Davido did like 41,000 in one of his biggest shows in America. Not a lot of artists reached to that level that Vybz Kartel did, not one night, but 2 nights. You have to give him credit.
Thank you, Q. Jackson, what you have to say about that?
You see, at the end of the day, if a 3 night, him did have a 3 night, then would have sold out. You see what I say?
You believe that?
That's what he... Yeah, man, definitely. We definitely believe that. Because even after seeing the first night, right, and see the clips on YouTube and stuff like that, if I didn't have a ticket for the first night, when I want to get a ticket for the second night, we just want to go on with the first night. And if you see the first 2 nights, them go on, so you don't want to get a ticket for the third night. You understand? Because it's like every night him up the ante, you understand what I say? So yeah, man, definitely good to see that dancehall is back and bigger than life, you know? Well, not bigger than life, but you know, it's up there.
It's getting there.
I don't think dancehall the gun. Cartel tell us like dancehall can't start. But the fact that we have a person such as him now with a success story, from prison to the Grammys, from the Grammys, from prison to the red carpet. And the story continues. It put on more highlight on different shows. And we see he went to New York and he sold out back-to-back shows. So that's a good vibes. Can we talk about some of the performances on this show? Jackson, what's some of the performances that stand out to you?
No, so I always go for Spice still. I not even know what even about that axe. Should I know say Spice, I go for right away.
Spice.
yeah,
man. That's the first night or second?
First night. Did she perform the second night?
Yeah, man.
I'm not sure, but she definitely performed the first night. Oh, she did?
Yeah.
But what Mr. she go on with, Maria told she handle the crowd, and you know, you can see the people really love her, you know? Soon as she starts singing her song, them everybody, you know, she get a standing ovation in terms of response, and it's a good vibes. But me like how we are talking about dancehall again. I mean, yes, we were talking about it when Russian, you know, remixed the Go-Go Club rhythm there and thing, and I feel like him kind of resurrect it right before Kartel come on road. So it's like, it's almost like it was strategic in a way, you know, because less than a year before him get out of prison, you have the one of the iconic rhythm where everybody know Kartel for, which is a Go-Go Club, for the Go-Go Club song. And them just resurrect that whole genre there. And me feel like everybody just feel the nostalgia. And then right as them start feeling nostalgia, Kartel come on road.
So you said that the performance that stand out for you is Spice, you know, Queen of the Stage. But I think one of the surprises there was Chensia and Kartel performing for the first time. We all know the energy around that as relates to her first song on Vybz Kartel, and a lot of us thought that would never happen. But you know what I mean? And then you know the Spice and the Chensia energy. But when we look on stage, dancehall unite. You know what I mean? You know, Black Rhino. So we have to talk about the fact that dancehall is now united, and then a lot of persons that would say Kartel would never call out or never see on a Kartel show. We saw on night 2 and also night 1. But before I go into that, let's talk to Q about his standout performance. What was the next standout performance that you saw on the show?
Well, right through me, I forget the Vybz Kartel for opening up the platform for all the young artists to showcase them talent to the world. No, that's a different level. But I have to give it to Craft. Because, yeah, Jackson run with Spice already. And we all know Spice can perform. But I have to give it to Craft because, you know, them always talk about the young artists. Them can't perform and them can't do this and them can't do that. And the young youth deliver. Yeah, for the short space of time them get in deliver. Yeah. Yeah, in doing things.
The young youth, them did all have dancehall for a little bit, you know. You have to rate them, you have to give them props.
No, I'm not take off no
it's just off I feel like
the man perform on a universe on the platform when get. He never does anything. I'm God, man.
I agree with you. Because I say in terms of before Kartel was released, they were kind of hold it down a bit. I think the older heads of dancehall in terms of the fans never necessarily like the direction that it was going as much because it kind of go left field or right field. I mean, I don't know which one I feel them, but it kind of go away where we never really have follow it. Me never really have follow it as much. Me like the rhythm them and stuff, but just the message and them thing there. Even though Kartel message them not much more positive, but you know, it more relatable in a way. So you know, I'm trying to say me rate them do them thing, but you know, it's like it come back to which part we didn't know it.
I totally
so
understand.
Like it's a new genre the man them have to create right now. Take over, go on with that something where them are going with over there. So.
Yeah, and you see Kartel not only that reform himself, because some of the things that he said, he used to, he was on stage and was performing one of the songs, and he said, you know what the song, one of the gangster song, where he said, I must know God, and the song played, and he said, wait. Take that out of my
playlist.
Yeah, man, and this is one of the things when we talk about in a dancehall last supper, you know what I mean? You know, one in a dancehall, because the culture, dancehall is a very strong and influential culture, you know. I was still like the culture was being shifted. Things that were not accepted, you know what I mean? When I talk about Guzo, if a woman not even want him to Guzo, or you know, there are so many things that we said. I mean, I said, wait, come on, I can't dance all this. But Kartel is now making a lot of people know, hey, me take that and move that. I mean, used to say 33 degrees are evil, but God me say I know and make the thing work that way. And as I said, the storyline, it fits. The platform and the platform push it, and people love to see the unity and so forth. I'm going to talk about Rhino. Rhino was on stage. People see Rhino walk out and get one of the biggest fouls for the night. I think Rhino was so excited that he losing footing. You know what I mean? But he got back up and the perform. You know what I mean? Rhino. People, Jamaica want to see right again. Yeah, man. Jamaica wants to see right again.
On a big stage, you know?
The fact that, you know, you're now given that big stage and so forth. Wish the best for you. Starting up and work with the voice. Because I think that the second night, I say like him the lose the voice. Try everything. We have to make sure the man try everything to keep the voice. If you mean to talk less. But I understand the excitement and all of that. Let's talk about Neo Forward. Is that we're looking for a next remix towards Ramping Shop? Because the Neo and Kartel, the energy ignite, you know. So I'm thinking, based on the interview that was recently done, that something probably a forward. Will the people ever get a remix Ramping Shop with Neo and Spice and everything there? We don't know. But the possibility is very high. What do you think? Thank you.
Let's see, it's a good look, you know. It's a good look. But
all right, so
Jackson said something about the young artists them. Remember, Kartel was more rebellious than most of them young artists, you know. Like Kartel life is like a movie, you know. From the entrance. No, before teachers pet, man, we have to think about new millennium. Come out and change the whole flow of dancehall, right?
Then after Kartel say bleaching, you know, and tattoo.
No, but before we reach bleaching,
Jamaica,
no, before we reach bleaching, remember say Kartel. touch Ninja Man on the stage, you know.
Why?
Not say it so. He hit him.
But bear in mind, that's what I just mentioned.
Then him comes, the man life is like a movie, then the man comes and touch the you know, cake soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then him say, strip club, right? And the man come back so again and him and Killer fall off for a minute and the man come out and say, yo, devil. And the man come back out and stakes a boom again and teacher spit. Then the man comes again and recreate the whole thing. After them go to prison and all of that him just turn a new page.
Yeah, man, I think that's what I was highlighting. I think that's what I was highlighting, that he came out and said that's not the way to go, and the personality that he used to have.
Yeah.
Right? And I got him a represent, you know, and it's gonna bring good energy towards itself. Because we know that a lot of, as I say, it comes like a movie. A lot of things that Kartel singing in his songs end up happening to him. Like, you know, music is powerful. You have to be careful what you're preaching in your life. It's a person that happened with like even Tupac and Biggie. You know what I mean? Some of the things that you said, that's how powerful words are. People say words are not powerful, they're very powerful. So you have to be careful. And when you put words with music, it's like you ignite a different fire. So yes, he came out and talked about that. I think in a recent interview, he said, as relates to even bleaching, he will never do that again. And bleaching, yeah, it's like he was saying, bleaching is a mental struggle that he was going through. When in bleaching, they look better. This is Kartel saying this, you know. A lot of the bleachers don't really want to hear this, but he might tell a film story. I can't be mad at a man. He reached a stage where my was 50. I think my 50 or what? So I must speak him truth and he might be mature about it. So what
I'm really there saying is, if Kartel can change, if Kartel can come to boom, a new page in the book, I believe the young youth them can do it too.
Exactly. I wouldn't want them to go to prison for change. Like how Kartel's prison was a blessing and that's something to feel same way. You know what I mean? We don't want that to because, you know, the viral king, you know, Foot Hype, speak about that. And we're going to get there that it's a case where you have to go to dancehall. The main dancehall artists who sold out arenas have to go to jail for them do it. What do you think about that when say, Jackson?
Well, guess what? It's by the time him said that, Alkaline sold out OVO Arena. So it's like right away, you speak it right into being. So we love that. At the end of the day, I will not go to the city and pretend that, you know, this is the first dancehall artist to ever sell out an arena or anything like that, right? We know that is not the case, but just the fact that it is such a huge thing in the news and everybody's talking about it. I think the shock effect that it has right now is why it's such a hot topic in terms of, you know, everybody is basically talking about it, right? So he's not the first to do it, but he's the one doing it now, and he's, you know, everybody's talking about it. So there must be something to it. But you know, to what Foot Hype said in terms of, you know, obviously we don't want the artist them to go a dancehall. That it goes right back to the whole structure, the structure of the music, and you know what's in place to actually market these people properly and ensure that there is some sort of, you know, structure in place where them can follow. Like there's a template in place where them can follow.
Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? A lot of times before this happening, as I said, a lot of things happened, but it wasn't highlighted. But the story of Kartel propel the stardom of Kartel, or the influence of Kartel, and the story, the success story, propel a lot of things. So let's you know, we made mention about Alkaline recently did a sold out show as well. You know what I mean? Let's not play the numbers game. This is that time for the numbers game. Oh, Kartel sold out 19 back to back, and the place for Alkaline did this amount of toast and in a reach just up. But the fact is, dancehall nice again. You remember that song? So it's about that. So no, Afrobeat was saying it was always Afrobeat artists that sell out the place, and we see now that, and this is my opinion, dancehall is the most influential music worldwide. I mean, when you look on dancehall from way back in the early 80s, the dressing style and everything of dancehall was being taken to the runway and so forth. But somewhere along that line, we start copy certain trends and we forget about our style and our culture. And Jamaica has become a hip hop culture instead of realizing that hip hop was looking to us. So no, dancehall is back on track, you know what I mean? And it's a good vibe. The unity in dancehall. We talk about, we see different person linking up with DJ Khaled. Is it that we're looking for a new song with Movado, Woodrow, Bounty Killer? It's the possibility is there. So it's the unity that dancehall is taking. Is it no Afrobeat? I have to go sit back and watch dancehall. I would just applaud the two genre as, you know what I mean, to take over and be dominant. But a lot of person would say these artists, these Afrobeat artists are saying they're influenced by dancehall. They said out of their mouth that dancehall was the influence. And even hip hop, if we should go and trace back dancehall, the sound of the rappers and all of that came from dancehall with back in the time when the DJ and them, because Americans call our hardcore DJs rappers. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at that. Kartel went ahead and buy a new house right after the show. I'm sure it was in the process already. A man like you can tell us how it go, Jackson. A new house. And he made mention that we love Jamaica. Yeah. He said love Jamaica.
I'm not his real estate broker.
I'm not a realtor. You write a book still, write a book about a lot of things. I'm thinking, you know what I mean, probably, I see where you touch a couple things like that in it. But
yeah.
Let's look on it. Kartel said Jamaica. I love on the but I'm half of Jamaica right now. Is it there's a trend?
I'm asking
the two things. Is it there a trend that majority of Jamaican artists are moving to foreign lands, to a lot of them said to escape certain things in Jamaica? What do you have to say about that, the house and that?
Let's start with the house. It's a beautiful house, I like the fact that it's very financially sensible, because a lot of artists actually, just buy the Lamborghini and the Benz and the Ray and the Tay and the Tay, and they're not actually purchasing anything that has equity and stuff like that. So it's actually good to see him buy the house. Like, whatever I bought it for, 10, 15 years from now, you can probably sell it for 2 times that, right? So that property is not only a good way to spend your money, it's a good way to invest your money as well, right? But setting that aside, I don't know about his decision to move to the United States of America right now, with the current climate. I'm not going to get into that, but at the end of the day, it worked for him because, I don't know what, all of a sudden, a lot of these artists that were saying certain things and not getting a visa because of it are now getting a visa. So, it seems like the conservative values of Jamaica is aligning with some of the conservative values in the United States, and it's working out for the artists them. So that's good. But in terms of them actually moving out of, I don't really want them to move out of Jamaica, because guess what? You see when them go party, if let's say Kartel go to, I don't remember the name of the club where always go, Mecca or something like that, right? He might go and he might spend 100 grand, right? So that 100 grand there, it'll circulate back in Jamaica, because the backer girl get a piece of food, the bartender get a piece of food, the drinks company them, if a consignment or whatever the case is, the retailer, whoever it is, those people are getting them to eat a piece of food as well. So it's like, that money is being circulated in the economy. So when they move out of Jamaica now, all of that wealth also moves out of Jamaica, right? So we have to take that into consideration, and more on the artists them take that into consideration as well. So me understand say, yeah, safety is paramount, and you have to like if you're dead, you can't spend the money, right? So I sense if you're a prison, you can't spend it. I can't tell you first hand.
But let's look at some of the things that Kartel spoke about. Well, we even heard Nuffy mention it on the stage. This man received a lot of respect from different leaders from different countries. But as Nuffy speak about, is the whole country that he's from, he hasn't received that type of vibes. So let's talk about that. That's why I said it can't make a case where is when somebody pass off, then we are using their image to sell Jamaica. While you're alive, we have to put away the politics or whatever it is aside and try our best to make sure that the music industry is able to maximize the full potential of what is happening out there. Because
we can ask that question though. What Canada do for Drake? What US do for Jay-Z or not P. Diddy, but let's go to somebody else. What US do for DJ Khaled? Right? If anything, him more relate to Jamaica than US.
So, but you understand where I was coming from when I'm saying the clarity, bring the understanding where I'm coming from then. I'm not saying that they need to do something for the artist.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I would love what you're saying would be nice if they could do it. But what I'm talking about is the energy like Bob Marley, right? Bob Marley said, I'm going to tie for my face. Bob Marley said, all I'm kids them shall come on the music.
I think individual talent and individual drive.
No, you're not going to make me express. You're going to make me express what I'm saying.
All right, so yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, Bob Marley did say, I'm going to tie for my face. When Bob Marley was alive, right? They never give him the credit. Sometimes adversity make you find something deep in you, right? Where you never know that. No, Bob Marley passed and gone. Bob Marley was about 36 when he passed away. And such a great legacy leave on.
36, damn.
Right? Larger than life. No, Bob Marley, at the time when weed was illegal in Jamaica, Bob Marley Bob Marley was Jamaica tourist board poster boy with a big spliff in her mouth. Right? Now we're seeing the same energy from Vybz Kartel, right? What I'm saying is, yes, the government should do, but if they don't, the musician them make a lot of money and them can create their own structure. Right? We would have loved for the politician to see. We would have loved for the politician to see what the other countries are doing. But remember this, right? Every election, things change. So one politician might start something and it not continue.
Okay. All right. So I understand clearly what you're saying. So we know that the artists I get it right. We know them do it. But you made mention that when Bob Marley passed off, they start utilize his image. What I'm trying to do is we don't want history to repeat itself. There's a lot of times the person's artist will face this, but you want to be an artist. Why waste time? What this? Music is a big business. Is there really any form of structure where somebody wants to become an artist, they can go and practice that art to master their art, the business, the production. You know what I mean? This is where I'm talking about. Yeah. So we don't want to repeat itself. We are saying that we see how we can capitalize on something. It doesn't matter who is in power or who is not and all of that. I'm just saying that if there's a void is there, let's think about it and see how we can fix it. We don't want to wait until the person passed or to the person is popular and then move away and live Jamaica. Because when persons move away from Jamaica, we have that brain drain, that void that is not there, as Jackson speak about. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that we as a country can able to, I think one of the episodes we spoke about that, having some place in Jamaica, just like you have the the walk in Hollywood where you walk on the stars and you go places that you see the different statue of different celebrities. We can maximize this, and this will in turn help tourism. But I don't want to go in too much on that. Let's talk about
private man them can do it though.
With that?
As I said, the private man them can do it though. Like it's an opportunity.
Yeah, we can point fingers anywhere.
If you have a little piece of food,
I can't tell a
Jamaica,
private man what to do with money. I can't tell a private man to do with money, but I can put out a petition to whichever government is in and tell them to give it a try. Because where a private man choose to do with the money, choose to do with the money. I'm talking about the country benefiting. And if the country is benefiting...
Here's the problem with government, right? Government is good at bureaucracy, making laws, making rules and regulation and stuff. They're not good at business, right? So if this is a business, if music is a business, so if you want somebody to run the business properly, you have to get somebody from the industry to run it. You can't expect government to know nothing about running music. They don't know what streams, how much streams, and nothing about charts and billboard.
I'm glad because I don't want to put that out on my government body. We have very smart individuals in the government. Do you know that Vybz was a producer and she was very huge in music before politics? There's a lot of these different persons.
But she play a significant role in music as well.
No, you guys are nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking. I'm talking about a void that is there and how we can maximize the void. So I'm not here to point finger and say who is doing and who is not doing. The void is there. How can we maximize the void? That's all I'm saying. So I'm not saying she should do it, him should do it.
Your opinion is that the government should do it. My opinion is that the private sector should see the opportunity and make use of it. That's my opinion.
So, all right. So let's move forward. Because you guys say something, I am in music and I'm not seeing that structure. But you guys say something. So, persons who are listening, go ahead and comment in the comment section. Because these guys are saying this is happening and I don't see it.
Let me put some clarity on what I'm saying. I agree with you. There's more that they can do. But at this point in time, right? Think about all the students from Jammins and Bunny Whale and Bounty Killer and Vybz Kartel, and they're doing it, right? Can they do it better? But at the same time, we have Bobsy. She's doing a lot, and you're right with her. That's a perfect example. So maybe them can take a page out of that book and continue that trend. Both parties.
Because we have a minister of culture, entertainment, and sport, and I think we are the only country probably have something like that. So it's already there. I'm just talking about stipulating a certain culture or structure that can benefit the artists and propel. So it's definitely already there. All right, let's talk about Beenie Man and his upcoming show. I will see a recent video that was done as relates to with Beenie Man. And Beenie Man, it's a stream? On the way.
Benzem clean.
Benzem clean. It's a stream? Benzem clean. And he spoke about, Bojo, we got Bojo, who sold out, never tell a lie. So we see, even Beenie Man is realizing, let's all of us come together and wider. Let's all forward and work on the energy to make the thing better. So, we have Beenie Man forwarding with his energy, and we're looking forward for greatness for Beenie Man show as well. What you have to say about that, Jackson?
Boy, I wish me could have go. We have Beenie Man fan from day one,
Yeah.
Since Kartel come out and the thing already different generations and stuff, but yeah, man, you're Beenie Man fan from day one, brother.
I would know that Beenie Man, without no doubt, is a performer. Very strong performer. So, we don't want the people...
For years, I hear my close sons for sure, Don't forget that.
Yeah,
how much years I hear my close the show, because he's exactly a strong performer, right?
Yeah, true. So, we don't want the people that and this and that. The unity is there. Let's join with the unity. You know, let's join with the unity. The unity is being shown right now. So I want to make sure they join with the unity and we'll go out there and make it happen. Talking about Be the Man and the vibes and the energy and the show and Be the Man. Jackson, you say if I show like that, you want to be there, right?
Definitely.
Be the Man is definitely a performer. What you say about that, Q?
One of the greatest. Because even Bruno Boy say Beanie Man was an influence. Beanie Man, I one of the man within the golden years of dancehall.
Golden years.
Like Burna Boy said that.
Yeah, and Wizkid.
Okay, they said that Beanie Man. Well, that's good because you know
one off.
Okay. So people can look out for that show. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're aired before the show, but you can look out and say that's gonna be amazing. With the performance, I hope them support it and don't divide the culture as what they talk about. Make sure them show up and enjoy themselves. And this King thing is the whole unity right now bigger than the King thing. You know what I mean? This is about dance in the US again and taking charge. You know what I mean? I can't forget because look at Kim, my art female rapper, you know. Look at Kim was there and the people that get more than what they bargain for. Nobody can come.
Why little Kim are your artist with her? Because little Kim sang them and a Jamaican song, you know.
I'm just saying of that genre at my time, you know what I mean? Little Kim was one of the artists that who, you know what I mean? Listen, let's move on. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly. Current affairs. Kommon Cents make it make sense. See you in a few. Kommon Cents make sense. It's all about our current affairs. And we're discussing about Vybz Kartel and the influential movement as relates to dancehall versus Afrobeat. And we talk about how the two genres are doing amazing and how, you know what I mean, each country can make sure they maximize the potential of these, you know what I mean? So we're just about the tariff now. That is happening as relates to what does this mean for Jamaica? Does it mean that Jamaica needs to more manufacture our own supplies locally and utilize our resources? What does this mean, Jackson?
Well, we start with this, right? What does, well, first of all, US is Jamaica's number one exporter, right? The country that Jamaica exports to the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they export, right? You have agriculture, manufacturing stuff, and you have bauxite. But they also use our port as a proxy because a lot of ships coming from other parts in the world, they actually stop here, unload, repack, and then go to the US. So some things I got this, or some things I got this, and all of that, right? So the tariffs that have been implemented, right, that's going to affect everyone. Because when you look at it, all of those things that are actually going to the US, for example, even the bauxite, it's aluminum, and aluminum is in almost everything, right? The agriculture, they're basically saying that by putting a tariff on us, they're basically saying they are trying to promote the American agricultural products, right? Which means it's going to be, they want to take less of ours. That's why the whole tariff thing is implemented, because they're trying to close the trade deficit, right? So without getting too complicated, I just feel like it is definitely going to affect us adversely. It is going to affect the price of everything coming in, because you have to look at it from a holistic standpoint, right? It's not just Jamaica that the tariff is on. It's on US, it's on China, and how much things we buy from China. A lot of things that are purchased from China don't come directly to us. They go to the US first, and then they come to us, right? So going into the US, it is actually going to be charged a tariff and then sent to us, right? So a lot of stuff that we think is not going to affect us, it is definitely going to affect us, right? So we are now looking at inflation in terms of the price of things going up, and we're looking at a lot of other economic, a lot of other economic activities going on, right?
All right.
So I think, go ahead.
Yes, I was just about to ask, so how can Jamaica pivot as it relates to that? What can we do to make sure that we are able to? I know it's paused now, but we don't know what is going to happen. How can we pivot?
Well, there's a lot of ways, I think. So let's look at Mexico, right? China and Mexico, right? So the last time Trump was in office, there was a trade war there as well, where they removed the NAFTA. Is it NAFTA? I want to say it's North America. Yeah, NAFTA agreement. They made some changes to it, right? And what actually happened is, I'm getting to a point. Is the reason why I'm saying this, right? What actually happened is, they put some stuff on, some tariff on China, and what they did is, instead of importing the stuff directly into the US, what they actually did is they went to Mexico. So they manufacture the parts, ship it to Mexico, assemble it in Mexico, and then ship it into the US. And that way they benefit from the NAFTA, American trade agreement, right? So saying that to say this, right? So when Trump put a 100% tariff on some of the stuff in China, but put a tariff on China, what's going to happen is you're going to be looking at us as a proxy to get into the US, right? So instead of paying 100% tariff by shipping directly to the US, ship it to Jamaica. Jamaica offload the container, not manufacture, but assemble whatever the product is, and then ship it into the US, right? So that's one way we can benefit. Actually, the entire Caribbean also has this, I think it's called CBI, which is basically a free, it's like a NAFTA, where Jamaica can trade with the rest of the Caribbean freely, right? There's an agreement for that.
By utilizing our own resources. Let's start there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of shipping stuff to the US, we can look at these other local markets, right? What are we shipping to the US now in terms of the agriculture that Trinidad needs, our St. Kitts needs, our Barbados? No, these are much smaller markets, obviously, and they also have a tropical climate like we do. But maybe we send them some yam and them send me some mango. Or we send them some sugar and them send me some rice. You understand what I say? So I feel like there's definitely an opportunity to utilize the free trade agreement within the Caribbean to actually to benefit from it. Because one of the reasons why we can't service those markets is because we're servicing the US market, right? So if we switch it around and start, and I think the Prime Minister of Barbados, I don't remember what her name is, but legendary woman, right? She was talking about that as well, right? Other thing again, the same proxy that the US is using, we can look into using that same proxy for other markets as well, right? Jamaica is basically in a central area in terms of it's an English-speaking country, and if you notice how the Caribbean is set up, coming from Europe, China, and those places, it's like Jamaica is right smack in the middle of everything, right? So they can actually utilize the port facilities that they have to, other countries with exporting and bypassing the tariffs, because a lot of stuff that are being shipped, it goes to the US first and then it goes to somewhere else. So let's say Africa is shipping something to Costa Rica, they ship it to US first, stop at a US port, a tariff gets added, and then it goes to Costa Rica. Not necessarily saying that is what happens.
Yeah, I understand where you're getting at.
You understand what I'm saying, right? So instead of going to the US and using those ports, obviously Jamaica is much smaller, but I feel like we have Kingston Wharves, which already has some infrastructure. If we can build something similar to that can facilitate some more vessels and stuff like that, we can definitely benefit from it.
So basically, you're saying in common sense, we talk about the unity of dancehall. We as Caribbean countries now need to unite and build that unity between trading and exporting, etc. The next big thing that surrounds around that is that I'm going to ask you. So China responds as relates to the US tariff. China is saying that China's manufacturer talk is now a trend on TikTok. That a lot of the luxury brand actually utilize China. And we claim that China is quote unquote knockoff. Q, what do you have to say about it? China is now coming out saying that, hey, food goods are just the same.
Well, at one point in time, everybody was using China, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a case that if stuff are manufactured in China, it's knockoff, because not a lot of things built in America. But China is not the most reasonable place to get your items built also. So think about it. What gives the item the value? Is it where it's built, or it's branding and marketing? Because McDonald's make burger, and man on the road make burger. Let me go down
I want
to
to
that.
repeat that part again. I want him to catch that part. Go repeat that part for me again.
What gives the item the value? Is it the item itself, or is it marketing and branding?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. A lot of people make burger better than McDonald's, but are they selling like McDonald's? Right? So these brands, it's not just where it's built or who is building it, but it's what it represents. That's why they knock it off. Because there's other brands out there that, based on how it's built, if you're thinking just on where it's built, how luxurious it is, right? So this, yes, they might take a hit. They might take a hit. But in business, it's not falling down and staying down. It's getting feedback and see how you can correct the feedback. See what is missing, what you can do to expand it. It's not just looking at it one way, because these businesses has been around. This is not the first time they hit hard times. And who said they're even hitting hard times? Because remember them saying, marketing is marketing. Even bad publicity sometimes can be good publicity.
I'm happy you said that. I think I see something on the media where they said the one bottle of water, you'll buy it in the supermarket for a set money. And you will go in the club and that same bottle of water is being sold for a different money. And you will end up in the airport and it's been sold for a different money. So the entire thing is not
and then
just...
they reach for the plane.
Yeah.
They reach for the plane, and it's a different money for the plane.
So it's definitely, that's why I asked you to repeat the cue. It's definitely not about where it's created, but the brand name that is on it, what it comes with, you know what I mean?
What it represents.
And what it represents. So in the case where a lot of persons are saying, oh, China is exposing the US. Come on, we all know this is no secret. They were making the phones before they're still, I think they're still manufacturing the iPhones. They were making the Samsung phone before they move on their own. China's been doing a lot of different stuff for a lot of different companies. You know what I mean? So if it's a case where the expose, that's not really an expose. At the end of the day, it's not what the goods is or what it represents, but the brand name is on it that makes a difference. Because you can get the same bag, for example, they're saying in China, for a lesser price. And you go somewhere with that same bag, and when they see that brand name on it, whatever luxury brand is in it, people going to pay that more money. But not have time to come to feel yourself on the same texture. So, you know what I mean?
And think about it. These brands are a lifestyle, So, and when you think about it, right? If people go as far as trying to knock something off to be a part of that crowd, that shows you the power that brand has. Because think about who's representing it. I see Vybz Kartel the other day in Louis Vuitton. That just give that company more branding. You know what I mean? You have the greatest or the man who's doing it right now, going there and showing people that, listen, this is how you celebrate a victory by shopping at Louis Vuitton. So that's marketing. You know all about that.
Yeah, man, most definitely. So at least China manufacturing quality stuff, they do. China is one of the main places at least to, you know what I mean? There's no big secret. So all this goes around TikTok saying that it's exposing. China's been making stuff for years.
I would like to step back on something. If I may, one of the questions you asked Jackson. Right? I do believe that this is a wake-up call for Jamaica and to the leaders, because one of the things that we see going on in Jamaica right now is hotels. We have real estate is going up. It's booming in Jamaica. It's booming, right? I think we can manufacture our own products if we can sustain ourselves, right? And feed ourselves. It's a good look for us. It's easy to be a black, but yet still we have black shortage in Jamaica. These are some of the things that, the trade man, we were talking about that. When my friend tell me, say him go hard and it require subject. You know what I mean? We need to have more schools and, things like that, farming and, to help to have a better nation once we can feed ourselves.
But doesn't that speak to the need for the private sector, though, to really step in and say, yo, because these are all business opportunities,
No, but think about this. That is true, right? But if the government can play a part in that, they do collect tax, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But
so
let's go ahead, Jackson.
No, I was just gonna say, I remember when I was living in the country, right? It's an upper bush country, right? There's this guy that lived next door that was building his house, right? And every day after work, he come home after work, he spend about an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. Maybe say 2 hours or so, right? And he mixed some cement and he had 3 black molds. I don't remember how much he did have. We have some black molds, right? And he mix the mixture and he pour it in the black mold and he make it and he put it down. And do you know that man make every single block when he use build him house, he make it himself?
Yeah.
Saying that to say, is that same man, if him apply that same method, let's say him save some money and buy about 20 or 30 black mold, right? He mix the same cement and make those blocks. Every day him come home and make those blocks. You know, some can sell those back and eventually turn that into a business. So a lot of times we hear about business and we think about business. It's not like you don't have to start big. You can start small. Every day after work, you build your inventory.
Yeah, but
you never know a man who come and buy 200 block from you.
We're talking about the hotel and all of them booming e-commerce, all of them booming things there for the island, right? You don't think if the government help the local tradesman to have these machines, it can help the economy?
I'm going to say yes, but I don't know. You see me as a man, I don't like your government, You see me attack.
You go private school.
Nobody tell me.
School?
What kind of private school you talk about?
Government school you go?
I went to Cornwall College.
Okay. What primary school you go? Prep school?
Colonel Avenue.
Prep school.
What kind of prep you talk about?
So the government did have an impact on you. That's what I try to tell you.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's when they come on to.
But in all fairness, Jackson, we're talking about the tariff, and that has to do with government. You know what I mean? Stipulations and setting things to structure to make sure we pivot on this. So let's not run away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't want to change the subject. Thank you for reading us back in, sir.
But watch it though. So let's move forward to the I mentioned about music. Are we doing enough for the music and the structure? Now we're talking about the athletes for sports, the sports infrastructure as relates to facilities and condition. We see Leon Bailey complain about it. As it relates to sports, that the condition of these facilities it's difficult. Him playing for Jamaica is like risking his career, because if based on the condition, if he played and get himself injured, his international career that put the fees his family is over. And we know that there's no really money in playing for Jamaica. So we see that talk went into it as it relates to more investment in our athletes. So we see Asafa Paul came out. There's a article that speaks about that. So what do you have to say about that, Jackson? Oh, if you can say that why you start to talk about government. We'll start with you.
No, man. Yeah, all right. So yeah, go on. Me completely agree with me agree with that one. When it comes on to, I think definitely there is more that can be done. Just from the outside looking in, it seems as if the right management structure is not there for how these programs are run and how the money is being spent. Because the thing about government budget, is if them give you 100,000 if you spend, and you spend 80,000, next year 80,000 you get, right? And if you spend the 100,000 and you can't account for 20,000, a problem, right? When it comes on to government money, there has to be accountability, and I feel like one of the reasons why some of these programs are not going well is because of the accountability aspect and how it's being run. So I think just a little bit more structure around everything. But when you have talents like those that literally are being bought by clubs for millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars they're being purchased for, right? Because that's what they're worth. Millions of dollars. You can't just have them and they just walk, and everybody have access to them, right? So if you want those type of people to play for for the country, I feel like there has to be some sort of structure in place to facilitate these players. So when it come on to flight, when it come on to security, and when it come on to the facilities that you have available, you have to step up the thing. If you want good players, you have to step up the thing. That's how it works.
So this is what I was talking about as relates to structure, make sure structure in play. Because that's in the top 5 greatest thing that Jamaica has to offer. Sports, music. You know what I mean? And we talk about these persons who are widely loved and are doing well. And when a man feel leave the millions of dollars US and come play at Jamaica, you know what I mean, and can get injured.
Just to love of the country.
Just to love the country. And we know how it go. When, you know what I mean, when you're not at your best Jamaican, I want to see you. We look at Merlin Natty from back in the days. she had to change citizenship. And the thing on Jamaica only like winners. And if you're not winning, you know what I mean, one injury can make your career pause. So we want to make sure that because Asafa Paul came out and he said, he will not let his kids run for Jamaica if they don't fix certain things. And he's been bashed. But we really have to look into it. He has been through the stages. Q. So Q, when you say Asafa Paul said that, what do you think? You think it's him speaking of a place of being too overconfident, or he's just naturally concerned?
You have different kind of confidence, yeah. You have confidence where a man, him is an athlete and him foot broken and him lose confidence. You have a next man who get confidence by the things them we have in possession. Lose them possession there. and him lose him confidence. Then you have a man who just confident within himself. No matter what, him would always be that person. Now, some of what Asafa Powell said, may agree with him, but for a man, a world-class athlete like Asafa Powell, I don't think he need the government to train his kids. Because what he can contribute to those kids might be more than what the government can contribute. The beauty of old man who plant trees is not for them get the shade and die. I have to leave it behind for the next generation. So may I agree with Jackson on that part. In some things the government can do, but if as a great leader said, don't ask what the country can do for you sometimes. Sometimes you have to think about what you can do for the country as well. You know, and for somebody like him that is not in need, him to look back and say, all right, we can see what we can do.
Don't you think before I say, I'm just responding to you. You finished?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so don't you think that him saying that is part of using don't you think with him saying that is part of using is fame to address a situation so it can be worked on? Because remember, you know, he mentioned that he was offered to millions of US dollars to run for our next country, and he turned it down because he wants to run for his country. However, he knows that facilities are not there to make sure that the future track and field stars are able to, you know, propel their career or be better at it than even a Usain Bolt. Because the void is there right now between a track star, you know, for Jamaica, you know, in the male platform. So, you know what I mean? I guess that is one of the things that he's speaking out against, using his stardom to discuss, to point a light on it. I don't know. That's what I think.
With track and field, we have champs, right?
Uh-huh.
And all eyes are look on champs. No, I'm not saying nothing what he said is wrong, you know. But I'm just saying, not from him. I think he can contribute more. Because think about it. Asafa can start a club. Anywhere Asafa go and say him start a club. That is it, you know. When they talk about track and field, only few names bigger than Asafa.
Yeah, literally.
No, if a regular man did say that, no, we could have relate more. Because
so let's talk about
Asafa is being inspired. A youth where come from nothing, right? Come from nothing and him see Asafa. And because of Asafa and believes them can run. He might go try the running. But before Asafa, who them did have? Asafa inspired a lot of people, you know, without even knowing, you know.
True.
Maybe him did hurt. Yeah, maybe remember him one of the foundation man them, you know. So at first he might go through the hurdle. Him crack the door, him crack the vault, or make a door for other people walk. That's how him do. I don't want to take nothing from him.
So me just want to add to that Q. He have a foundation still. And I feel like a lot of the other runners also have a foundation or some charity aspect to what they're doing, which is great. So, in terms of what he might do for Jamaica, I'm going to say he might do enough. He might do all right. He might do enough. The only thing I'll disagree with you on is in terms of track and field, right? Me not want to know play with Jamaica name when they come on to track and field, right? The track and field champs, the Jamaica high school champs and college champs or whatever the case is, champs is the biggest platform any high school college student can get to perform on right now. There is no other platform in this world, right, that they can perform on that is bigger than Champs, Jamaica Champs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because think about it. Anytime Champs are keep the whole of downtown black, you know. And it's not just Jamaican, as in people that live in the area. People fly down from all over the world come at Champs. All of the news outlet, them Fox, ESPN, the whole of them there. All of the major brands, all of the major brands are here. Puma, Nike, them send a representative because they want to see yo. Me want to see a who. So,
but here.
So him saying that he's going to let his kids compete in another country, he's doing his kids a disservice.
But think about this. Champs is not free.
No, I'm not saying it's free, no. I'm just saying.
No, so where the money I go?
Well, it's whatever the money name. The people that put on Champs, right? Is it IAAF? JAAA, whichever organization put on Champs, it's just like a party. It's the same like how you have a promoter and the promoter keep a party at stadium, and the same thing, except it's a sporting event, right? So it's a promoter. Yes, it's government sponsored, but it's not the government own it, right? They probably participate.
It can be regulated. It can be regulated.
Chris Kennedy, right? There you go. Issa, I didn't put it on. So at the end of the day, them promote a sporting event and whatever the case is. But anyway, all I'm saying is, if he puts his kids in an overseas high school, he's doing a disservice to the kids, because there is no greater challenge on this planet when they come on to sprinting. Because I'm sure sprinting them more wonder, right? When they come on to sprinting, there is no greater challenge than growing them in the Jamaica school system and have them compete against Jamaican athletes. Me feel safe if you send them go foreign and they go perform against them little, them now go, you go have some, what them call them, some donkey man, I go run left them.
How about the update with Usain Bolt? Where, great news, Usain Bolt is getting back some of his money based on the case. We were talking about this man who, again, a lot of companies wanted him to come overseas and represent, and even the business he brought to Jamaica, because he says it's not leaving Jamaica. Everything has to be done in Jamaica. And, he was in unfortunate circumstances, but the good news is getting back some of his money, right? Right, Jackson?
Oh, is it great? What kind of great news you talk about? I joke, yeah,
some is better than none.
Now, when you come on to 2 billion, how much million? A $2 billion?
$2 billion.
$2 billion sum.
Was that a price? Was that a government bank?
No, we're not talking about government, though.
No, but as I said, was that a government bank?
No, I don't think so.
Was a high-risk investment scheme? Jackson.
Is it a government bank? Definitely not a government bank.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're insured. You remember the JDIC thing we're about? That's a deposit insurance. It's a investment insurance. Now, the SSL, they probably have their own private insurance that invest their investors' money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be insured up to a certain amount. But $2 billion, what I feel like, someone said this, and I don't mean it literally, some head need for roll. You understand what I say? I don't mean it literally.
Not ours of Kommon Cents.
Not literally. I don't
literally,
mean people need to dead.
So.
No. I don't mean literally. I mean figuratively. Somebody needs to be held accountable for this. And not even somebody, because I don't want somebody.
Happen. His lawyer needs to get active.
Yeah, man, the people that are involved need to be held accountable. So going back to what Wita was saying, just want to let you know. What name again? I remember Kishian Thompson. I think he won 9.7 last year. So no right off of Jamaican them still.
No,
he's not a. Let me not say he's not a Usain Bolt. No, he's not a Usain Bolt. He's a Kishian Thompson. Right? Usain Bolt is a 1 in a million. But trust me, no right off of Jamaican them youth.
No, man, I would never do that. That's why I'm saying that we need to make sure that we have the facilities in place and understand where Asafa Power is coming from. Because, as I said, you're saying both Asafa Power, they were offered millions to us to get Jamaica. And they would have been well taken care of. And they fight for the country. So I want to make sure that we still give them that same support.
It work out for them, don't it work out for them? How much diamond then go and win? It work out for them. Alright, so
no, Asafa them could I get more still.
Well,
it work out for them.
You said what?
Anyway, the $2 billion there, whosoever, underneath it. Somebody needs to be held accountable. We need to know where the money they got still. Got enough money that.
On that note, we're about to wrap up. Let's take a break and I'll be back shortly. Common sense, make it make sense. Make sure you're leaving the comments. We want to know an opinion. Don't be afraid. We want to know your opinion. We still not liking, we still the reviews climbing. Drop some comments. We'll be back shortly. Common sense, make it make sense. It's all about the current affairs. And boy, I tell you, we've been talking about some very trendy topics. Last topic that we're talking about is Usain Bolt getting back some of his money. Container chicken forward at Jamaica. Everything nice, man. Chicken like crazy. Chicken for Easter.
Yes.
No, I don't know if I should be. I'm not talking about if the chicken is good or not. How comes a container floating around until it reaches the people? Where the Coast Guard? Where's the security for the company? That's what I'm looking at. What do you have to say about that, Jack?
Cute, take that one.
Well, I guess it just pop up on the shore, you know?
Magically appear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The people them happy. But
you know who owned the container?
Oh.
You know what this remind me of?
What?
Me don't know who owned it. You know what this remind me of? Skilly Bang have a song say, yo, the plane just crashed with it. You know? You're not gonna heard. No, but seriously still, yo, a serious thing that, brother.
This could be a container gun. It could be a container of anything that can affect the populace. Virus, whatever. How that just floats up? You know what I mean? And discovered by the people.
That's very dangerous, man. But I feel like, I don't know.
What?
That's a huge security breach, you know. When is it you?
We need to do homework.
That is it.
You know what I mean?
What if the chicken did really poisonous?
I said if you're doing something on social media, they say, why am I eating chicken? I'm feel different. And then they start running, the Brazil music I play and I play a ball and say, yo, ball from eating chicken.
Messi.
Me hear about Ronaldo. But me never hear container floating.
Ronaldinho.
Container floating. So the big question is, who is dealing with the coastline? How comes nobody saw this before the people of the country? How the looting was going on crazy before any form of authority was there? You know what I mean? That's the big question. So for the people who get the chicken and say, oh, chicken nice, they never eat. The people have posted videos say they never eat chicken nice. So, and the chicken was good because it was frozen and all of that. That's not my big concern. I'm just saying the coastline needs some protection. That's for me. What you guys say? Same thing?
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, such a huge thing as a container, just thinking about that floating on the waters. Like, what else is out there floating? The country have a gun problem right now. Too much gun.
Or it's strong. Minister of Security.
Too much gun.
Look into that, sir. Look into that. Container floating around.
Too much gun in the country. Not saying that there was any gun in the chicken container, you know. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Chicken gun, yeah. Chicken gun, yeah. Chicken gun.
You know my biggest concern?
Yeah.
I hope nothing really wrong with the chicken because enough people things are wrong with it. A little man were innocent whether see a jerk man and go buy chicken.
Oh no. Man, I grow a six finger and then I know where it come from. And just say a next finger just pop up. Jaja.
Oh yes, John. Look into that. Look into that. But based on some of the things that are rolling out by the government right now, say, tax, a lot of things being rolled back, JPS, and all of this that is happening. Look like election about for car. Jackson, tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, yeah, me, every government question you have a me, see?
It doesn't look like one of them Obama person there.
Anyway, but yes, anyway, you know what? All right, where's the tax? Government, we don't know. I mean, I think they have to call election this year. Isn't it 4 years? Or 5 years? Where you go?
Yeah, man.
I think they have to call the election this year. So it's not a question of if they're going to call it. They definitely have to call it. And, I think, obviously any government that's in power, whether it doesn't matter which government it is, they're going to be strategic about it, right? Anytime I say election come around, say road I go fix, say them I give road work, man I chop road, this a clean up, MP start visit the community, you don't know the shops already. Nothing.
Yeah, so the reducing of the GCT, the 15% as relates to electricity, and the increase in the individual loan amount for you're getting a house from 7.5 million to 9 million.
What make you take the NHC one?
Man.
Yes, the electricity one though. I don't know why me just feel like say that I'm really nothing to do with. Because think about it. That's the second. Is it a policy change regarding the JPS, right? In not a lot of months. The first one is that they're trying to regularize all of the people in their teeth light. Right?
That was the approach first, yeah.
That was the first approach. And now they might reduce the electricity from 15 tax from 15 to 7%. So I feel like they got an ultimatum from the JPS say, yo, here we go on. Is either get more people on the grid where the price can go down, or we have to go raise the price. So I think they're preparing Jamaica for a price increase by the JPS. That is my personal opinion still. My personal. So me feel like JPS I go raise the price and they must say, yo, here we go on. I go just take off some of my tax. So that means that when JPS come back, because the election year, JPS raise light bill in the election year. That's not good. So the man have to, you have to step in and do something.
So your theory is something is up. Something is up with it. Something is up.
Me feel so.
Something is up. Well, we have to look into that. What if you prophesy something, Jackson? You're going to say that's something we have prophesied.
I hope.
People remember saying Jackson said it here first and come and says.
Yo, you're coming in for my youth.
But like let's talk about the increase with the NHT individual loan amount from 7.5 to 9. Let's talk about that.
Well, it's good that
what do you think?
It's good that them increase it, But if you live in a parish like Senton and is you alone, still rough. 9 million really can't get your house.
Gotcha.
But look at it, look at it on the bright side. If you go buy a house, nobody buy it now, wait until after July 1st. If you have NHT benefits, you're going to use. Because that extra 2 million.
9 million Jamaican dollar.
Huh?
9 million Jamaican dollar.
How much is it now? 7 million or 7.5?
7.5.
So 1.5 million. So if the house are 20 million, you really need to go borrow 11.5 from the bank instead of the greater amount. We have to look on the positive side, but it's still a lot of money. Still a lot of money. NHD probably have to do some more scheme houses, more projects. Because the house them are selling up. And see if them can do more, reduce the prices a little bit more for the people there. Yeah.
So what a scheme house is going for in Jamaica? About 25?
Depending on where.
25?
Depending on where.
25 in the future?
No, depending on where. Depending
Some
on
cases,
where.
25.
In the 20s.
Depending on where. No, man, depending on where.
So what's the cheapest scheme house price that you're about?
As I said, they start from the 20s that I know about. I don't know if they have anything for 17. That's way back in the days.
Depending on where.
As you said, it's depending on the location, but he's asking what's the base? What's the base? The cheapest I don't know about. I would say in the 20s. The 20s.
20s.
You talk about old scheme or new scheme?
No, I'm telling you what I hear, the lowest that I know about.
Old scheme or new scheme? Like new project? New projects?
Yeah, new project, yeah.
Open at 30s, you know.
Open at 30s. So it's more than 25.
At the end of the day, still, even though we hear the word NHT doesn't necessarily mean say you buy a NHT scheme house. Still, because you can borrow NHT money to buy any house, right? But I think it's kind of sad, but it's just supply and demand. Economics, that's how it works, right? And I'm not saying that the government shouldn't raise it to 9, right? But let me put that out there first.
What you saying?
I think the government raising it to 9 million has added people to the buyer pool for houses, right? And supply and demand dictates that, if you have more people buying houses, the price of house are gonna go up. So if at 20 million feet now, when I get 9 million, it's gonna be 25, or it's gonna be 30. So
you're looking at the OT era, you start at like 31 mil up.
But here the thing too. Here the thing too, right? You can do the evaluation on the house.
Yeah.
And the house set value 20 mil, but the man tell us at 35, you must sell if I take it or leave it.
When it's a buyer's market, when it's a seller's market, them call the shots. I remember when I was purchasing a house a few years back in Spanish Town area, right? And I think it was listed for 10 point something. I said 10 point something. Boy, that's one expensive, man. All right. Me go in and me say, all right, 11 me offer, right? Somebody come back 11.5. And I was looking at that house and I was thinking to myself, but that was not even worth $10 million, but more pay it. Because me just want to get it over with. Me like the location and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me end up spending almost 12 feet.
Right.
What are you talking about?
It's about 7 years ago.
Hmm.
So I'm very surprised to see that I've looked in that same area and I can see that those houses are going for like 21 to 22. So it has almost doubled in 6 years. Going back to what I said earlier with Kartel buying his house in Florida, right? It's a good investment. Real estate is always a good investment. You buy it in This is not normal for
potentially
your
good investment.
Potentially, yes. But it's not normal for the cost of the house to double within 6 years. But based on how inflation is going in Jamaica, you never know.
Yeah, tell me more rough to get a house in Jamaica than getting it overseas.
Well, the thing about getting a house, sometimes it's not getting the house, but it's keeping it. Depends on how you buy it. Getting the house might be the easy part.
Might be. That's in Jamaica.
No.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah, because remember this. In Jamaica is different from anywhere else in the world. In America, you'd pay a lawyer $2,000, $3,000, $1,500, right? To represent you. In Jamaica, at 3% or 4%, you have to pay the lawyer over the house value. Percentage them are work by. So,
yeah,
the bank, depending on the bank you're using, right? 5% down to the bank, 5% down to the lawyer, and you probably have to have closing fee. So you probably look on 15%. And some bank are charge you next money for paperwork.
Mm-hmm. So
everything
like,
in
administrative fees are not.
Does it mean that it's better to buy a piece of land and build a house?
Then you go buy the contractor, tell us him I'll come and finish the work. And anyway,
cement start thief. That's that.
Black. But I mean, the administrative fees are not. It's not the.
We are not discouraging persons from going to Jamaica.
Yeah, not discouraging.
We're not doing that.
But I think with
the government,
definitely,
I give them that.
But I think with the government implementing that $9 million strategy, they should also counter the possibilities for a huge spike in the market by adding some caps. You understand? I understand it's a lawyer fee of 5%. Lawyer fee is it 5%? So let's say it's 5%, whatever it is, right?
3%, 3%.
Real estate fee is the next little percent, and cap some of them fee there.
No, normally I think it's the seller pay that.
It doesn't matter. Cap some of them fee there. Because think about it. If I'm selling a house and I know that I need to pay my realtor 5%, I think I have to factor that in on my price. You understand? So if I was going to sell it for...
That's another major thing, because that's not why the house double.
No, I know. It's because people bidding on it. But I'm saying, if I'm going to sell the house and I know it value 10 million, I'm going to say, all right, we're good with the 10 million. And the realtor is going to tell me, I'm going to take 10% off that 10 million, Then we have to sell it for 11 million.
That's if you choose
because
to use
10 million we want.
No, but that is if you choose to use a realtor, and that is if you choose to use a lawyer.
Hold on. Common sense fraternity. If you're buying a real estate property, always use a lawyer and always use a realtor. Trust me. All right.
Let me tell you something.
Unless you're a realtor or a lawyer and you've studied these things, because you see, let me tell you something. Normally, nothing goes wrong and smooth process. But you see, if something go wrong, you're in a problem. Trust me.
No, one of the main things you do, right? No, I'm not a financial advisor. But if you have the time, the first thing you want to find out if any lien upon the loan, any caveat, anything, and if they own the money. First of all, the bank now got to approve the loan if you go through the bank, if any money open the property.
Most definitely, yeah.
The bank now go, yeah. So, I mean, you kind of save a little bit right there. One of the main things what people don't do, right, is get somebody to check that property correctly, to see if the structure good, if the roof good, if the electrical work good, if the plumbing good. Yeah, them thing there is as important, because them thing that can run you more than the 3% of the lawyer pay or charge you, and more money than what the realtor charge you.
Yeah. So when you're buying a property, there's a thing called a pre-delivery inspection, which is basically done and paid for by the buyer. So if I'm buying a house,
In Jamaica?
I always make sure we do. In Jamaica, they call it a surveyor's report, I think, or something to that effect. It costs about, well, that's 6 years ago. It cost about 25,000 for it, right? But what they do is basically go through the entire house, check the property. Some of them, and if a surveyor don't have a drone, don't use a surveyor there.
Yeah, but
they have a drone, then fly it up and then check the roof.
That are the surface things they might check.
No, well, obviously they can't go in the wall. There's nobody that can go in the wall and check the plumbing, but they can look out for
they have a machine
signs.
They can check to see if the place a leak.
So I want my viewers to know this is 101 these gentlemen are talking about when buying a house in Jamaica. So
someone different topic by itself.
Yeah, let's step up to NHT.
Yeah.
But I realize I don't go deep while ago. But it's good vibes, it's good conversation. We're talking about these things and people want to know these things. People have an opinion about these things. So it's current affairs. We dabble a little bit in a lot of things and we discuss a few things that you can look into yourself. And if you have that experience about buying a home and you want to share it, leave it in the comment section if anything was left out. Kommon Cents, make it make sense. It's a pleasure talking with you gentlemen again, and to the Kommon Cents fraternity. We appreciate you. We love the fact that we are growing and we are growing with you, and we are having fun. Kommon Cents, make it make sense. See you next week.